Hmm. Let's see. Audio test. Let's see. Audio test. Alrighty, well, that's good. Maybe someone will actually watch. Maybe we'll find out later. Anyways, moving on. Post link in Discord. Okay, well. Yeah, I got a lot more places to post it. Do 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 do. Yeah, of course, there's no one in chat. Yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal, really. Okay, you know what? One more. All right, so what am I doing for this stream? Well, I have laid out here a chart of what I need the various special spaces on the. Okay, what the composition of the board is, and I'm going to get to the what the special spaces are going to be. You know, in hindsight, I probably should have put the number of spaces per ring in this chart. Yeah. Anyway, so ring one, total of 16 spaces. Not very small. Ring two is slightly larger than the basic Monopoly board. Ring three, again, a little bit larger than that, but not much. You can actually look at it here and see just exactly how much larger it actually is, because the fact that I was actually just like copy pasting art assets so that these cells here are actually the exact same size as the cells here. Now, the corner construction is different, but that's basically just means that it's unique. Like one thing that I actually just completely, well, actually this I did not draw because I just copy pasted the same one I put over here. This, again, copy pasted art asset, copy pasted art asset. This I actually drew unique for this. These, well, actually, I drew one copy of this assembly and then copy pasted it to all 4 of the corners. Anyway, though, back to what I was doing. So, oh yeah, I need to go see. 16, 48, 20, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's weird. It's like you're like, oh, 2B only has 20 spaces in it. That feels small. Then you realize that the original Monopoly actually has 40 on the entire board. The entire board of the original Monopoly only has 40 spaces in it. Oh well, 56, 96, 28. Okay, there. Slightly messed up some of the alignments. Whatever. Minor inconvenience. Anyways, enough of that. So, the main rings each actually, 3 of the rings have railroads. I have 4 sets of railroads. But, yeah, that got fun. Okay, ring 2, ring 3, ring 4 each have railroads. I decided to put a set of railroads in ring 4B as the locations where the spokes connect to the subring. Yeah, well, I decided I didn't want to have any of the spaces that are these joint areas to be part of color groups as a general game design thing. So putting railroads there just makes sense. Railroads are still property, it's just they're not color groups. Anyway, I haven't figured out exactly how many special spaces I want to have in each of the rings yet. I am currently looking at having 15 special spaces that are not corners. Obviously, each of the 4 main rings has 4 corners on it, you know, in the obvious locations. And you have the various utilities and other kinds of non-property spaces. Let's see here. Let's look at these numbers here. 5, that's 10. This actually, these numbers here actually add up to 20, I think. Huh? That feels wrong. Okay, this is 16, 8, 4, 4. Yeah, that adds up. 48, okay, minus 24 leaves us with 24, 20, 16, 14, 10, 6. Okay, that adds up. Okay, 20 minus 12 leaves us with 8, 1, 4, 1, 2. Okay, that adds up. 56 minus 32 leaves us with 24, 20, 16, etc. Actually, wait. Okay. 56 minus 32 is 24. Minus 4 is 20. Minus 4 again is 16. Oh. Oh. When I was putting this number in, I did not take into account the utilities. Now it adds up. Yeah, dropping that number down by 3 changed a lot, actually. I mean, it's still high, but it's only like 17 high rather than being 20. Also, the question mark numbers are literally just things I have not assigned. I know that I'm expecting to have a certain number of special spaces, but I'm not actually certain exactly what they will be or how many there will be yet. And that's the part why I'm going through this table here. It's like I've decided I want to have this, that, and the other thing in assorted places, but I haven't decided exactly what will be where yet. Or how many of things will be. Like taxi spaces, for example. It occurs to me that I could put taxi spaces in ring 4B. I did not initially do this because I'm putting in 4 railroads. But maybe it would be a good idea. Maybe not. Anyway, so ring 4. This is always the most fun one to math because, of course, it is. Yeah, we start with 96 on this one. Yeah. 36 minus 4 minus 4 minus 4. So we're done to 24 already. I mean, but yeah, then we have 8853, which is adds up to 24. Okay. And ring 4B has 28, 16 plus 12. Yeah, that adds up. Okay, so the way I have things currently set up, The plan said 15 other spaces, which, yeah, honestly, I probably will actually do that. Yeah, I'll probably just do 17 of them. Again, haven't made a final decision there yet, but this is looking relatively good for this. But yeah, 152 properties in color groups. Base Monopoly only has 22. 28 total when you add the railroads and taxis together. 13 utilities. Why? Well, I took the number of properties in color groups. Well, actually, no. Sorry. It's a ratio of the number of properties in the rings, including the subrings, because I decided that I am going to allow utilities to exist in subrings. The total number of properties that are not in the spokes, which the spokes are special spaces, which weird different rules. 264 divided by 20. Because like the original Monopoly has a grand total of 40 spaces. It has 2 utilities. So 40 divided by 2 is 20. So out of every 20 spaces, 1 utility. That was the idea. Which 264 divided by 20 gives you 13. So we have 13 utilities. Yes, I know. Very formulaic, but having the board layout be this different from conventional Monopoly, I felt the need to do some sort of mathematical thing to be the basis because it's going to be weird if I just try to literally freehand everything. Wanted to start by making sure I had approximate right numbers of things relative to each other. Okay, so 13 utilities, I guess 17 other. I'm not sure what. I think what. Oh, right. I remember now. No. Anyways, not that. Not that. Um. I did a thing in a notepad document where I typed up percentages of all of the items in the game. Oh, right. This information is now out of date. Well, whatever. So, anyways, in base game of Monopoly, all of the special spaces put together add up to 15% of the game board because there's 4 corners and 2 special spaces out of a grand total of 40 spaces. Gives us 15%. Now, taking 264, which this would actually end up being 33 special spaces total. The 16 here is the number of corner spaces. This is corner spaces added to the other special spaces. This should be a 33. Anyways, so 264. What percentage is that? – 12.5%. Wait, what? I said it was my goal was 15%. Huh. Kind of works. Oh, yeah. When you have it as 11 special spaces total, that actually comes out to be a little below 12%. So while this does change it a little bit, it's really not that big of a deal. And honestly, having a low number of special spaces is fine because of the fact that all of the spokes, those are going to be special spaces. Granted, a lot of them will be boring special spaces like roll 1 dice and move ahead the amount thrown on the dice. I know, nothing fancy, but stuff. Anyway. So, okay. 16 corners, 17 other, and I will go with having all of these question marks be special. Now, what do I mean when I say special spaces? Well, true Monopoly in its original form only has 2 examples of this that aren't corner spaces. Those being luxury tax and income tax. Having 17 versions of luxury tax / income tax sounds boring and lame, so I'm not going to do that. Granted, there will be multiple tax spaces mixed in with them. But, you know, Anyways, so now we get to the fun part, shall we say. Deciding where to place these items. File open. Yeah, need to open the most recent iteration of the game board and start on that. I am going to save this as board I. Every time I make a major change, I save a new iteration of the game board. And the things that I made so that I could use them as clip art, I saved several of those as well. Anyways, I really don't understand why it's doing that. I think the transparency loss thing has something to do with Paint deciding that it's converting from one file format to another, even though this is the same file format it was originally loaded in. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, you may have noticed that this is small print. Yeah, this is a lot of game board already, and, you know. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to do the whole, like, white bordered spaces thing, but I think I'll just, like, have it as, like, white background spaces. Okay, so the thing with white spaces is I decided I wanted to have them, like, each start with a sort of a token, and whoever is the first person to land on that space in the game gets the token. Which the token is just like a thing you can spend whenever you or someone else rolls a dice to modify the dice roll. You, of course, will know what the token will do. Like, you know, one of the tokens might do... All it will do is reduce the total by 1. Well, reducing the total by 1 when it's an opponent rolling the dice will possibly cause them to land on your property instead of missing your property. Obviously, this is something you only are going to do when it will be beneficial to you. Anyways. So, let's start with ring 1. What am I going to put into the 4 corner spaces? That is actually a good question. See, I actually looked up several different editions of Monopoly. And several similar related games. Just looking for ideas. Because, like, these two, they actually came with quite a lot of ideas. Like, the Holland Tunnel thing is legitimately an interesting idea. The subway space, cool, love it. Having 3 different versions of Go that each work slightly differently, also a good idea. I'm not going to label them Payday and Bonus, I'm just going to label them all Go. But some of them will not do exactly the same thing as the others will. Anyways, all that being said, oh yeah, another thing. Gigaopoly, this is one of those things that someone posted pictures of on Facebook. He was trying to sell it. Which I like it in principle because of the fact that in terms of being a giant enhanced edition of Monopoly, it is the simplest giant enhanced edition of Monopoly I've ever seen. And the way he made it simple is also a weakness, in my opinion, but making it simple made it so that it was something that he could get people to learn quickly and easily, which is actually a big selling point. It's like there's nothing particularly creative about this. The main thing this has that regular Monopoly doesn't is the warp zones, which will move you from one ring to another. Also, in this one, whenever you get around to here, you drop down a ring. And then you get to here when you go back up to here. That is how you switch rings in this one, which is not necessarily my favorite way of handling it because it makes it functionally a really, really long string. It doesn't branch. Yeah, hitting these warp zone places that are added to it, those are literally the only other ways other than the corner spaces to go up and down a ring. Is that a good thing? Well, that's a matter of opinion. A feature that I really like is the fact that it has 3 different go to jail spaces and 3 different jail spaces, so that it doesn't change which ring you're in when you get to jail. Although, in my case, I actually intentionally put the jail in the center as ring 0. Why? Because it amuses me. That's why. See, this is the jail. Then you get into ring 1. Why? Because one thing that occurred to me years ago playing Monopoly is that the get out of jail free card actually has a very low value. It's like you're not going to ever get more money for it than you would get from simply paying the fee. And the fee is like $50 if I remember right. So why? You're never going to get another player to hand you more than $50 for the get out of jail free card. In fact, probably less than 50 because they can just pay 50 if they give it directly to the bank instead of you. So, as a feature, I decided that it would be a fun idea to make it so that get out of jail free cards could be used to prevent you from going to jail. So if you're over here and you let's say you roll doubles for the 3rd time in a row. Okay? You're over here, get your doubles, like, oh no, I'm going to get sent to jail, play get out of jail free card. And then you stay here, you don't get put over here. That is an intentional design feature that I came up with solely because I wanted to give people a incentive to actually value get out of jail free cards instead of, what people normally do with them. I found several different things in a wide variety of Monopoly variants that were just kind of like the one interesting aspect of a certain Monopoly variant that I picked up and like mixed and matched things, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with some of them yet. I'm really not. I'm going to figure that out later. Anyway, though, back to drawing again, Boyd. See, that's actually a thing, though, is that, first things first, Ring 1 is going to have 4 property groups, each of which only has 2 properties in it. Why? Because I felt like doing it that way? No, seriously. Okay. So, when you look at this, this has 8 property groups with only 2 properties in each of them, which, okay, Fine, sure. That's how he decided he wanted to do it. That is a valid option. But when you look here, it actually shows 4 groups, each of which only has 2 spaces, because this one actually has a lot more special spaces in the center area. And in order to make room for those special spaces, they had to have less properties. So this actually only has 12 properties in the inner ring versus the 16 that Gigaopoly has. Yeah. Anyway, though, well, mine only has a total of 16 spaces in general. Because, like, if you look, pay close attention here, this actually has 24 spaces in it. And this one, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this one also has 24 spaces. Because of the fact that mine only has 16, that's 8 less things to do. 8. Which, yeah, with that taken into consideration, decided that I only actually had enough room for 8 properties. Now, I could actually, like, weasel that, because, like, the, like, things that eventually got put down as special, I could make it so that those were something else. Like, one of the things that it's an idea I've batted around, is having a taxi in the Ring 1. Because, like, the number of special spaces is good. You know, actually, you know what? I'll do that. 1 taxi. Yeah. Why add a taxi to Ring 1? So that it has interesting things in it. I was thinking about, it's like, there's, like, nothing interesting here. You just have something interesting. I have 1 utility here, 1 taxi, and 4 corner spaces. The others are color groups, and there's 2 other special spaces. Okay, so that changed all of the math. This goes up to 29, and this goes down to 16. Whatever. Anyway, I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to math the taxi payments yet. I'll think of something. Anyways. Oh yeah, clip art. What do I have for logos for this? That's should have a taxi logo somewhere. Yeah, that's usable as a taxi logo, I guess. Some of the things that I have for clip art are things that I'm probably never going to do anything with, because they're just like generic images of something vaguely related to the concept of Monopoly. Too vaguely related, if you get my meaning. So, marking taxi spaces. Okay. File, no. How am I going to mark taxi spaces? Open. Well, let's see here. Single. File, save as. Actually, no, wait. Control A, Control C, file, new, Control V. No, not zoom out. Now make sure we don't want to shave off even a single pixel of this. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a diagonal version of this too. But I'm going to start with the non-diagonal one. Save as ping taxi cell. Okay, so what am I going to do with the taxi cell? Okay, let's go back to the regular Monopoly board. Oh, right, I need to minimize this or it doesn't go out of the way. Now, when you look at these, it appears that... oh, dang it. You know what? I need to open this. Yeah, you know what? I'll just use this blank Monopoly template thingy. Yeah, I found this somewhere on the internet. I don't remember where. Okay, what I'm going to use this for is to measure. Okay, so the length of this is about 210 pixels. Okay. The height of the colored area is about 50. Okay. So that puts it at approximately 25%. So we go back to taxi cell. As you can see here, the taxi cell has a width of 150 pixels total. This, of course, means that we need approximately 38 pixels for the colored part of it. Eh. Okay, so how far does this go over? Okay, so drag it to here. Right on the edge of the blue. Okay. Well, that is too thick. Way, way, way too freaking thick. How did it... I must have done something custom to get it to be a 2px line. I want it to be a 2px line. Bracket. There. Now we do a second box like that. Okay, that looks good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fork again. You know, I really should have been saving the, I should have been saving all of these things in the other folder. Oops. Whatever. Anyways. So, my goal here is actually rather simple. I decided that what I wanted to do for the taxi thing is to basically just like to make it look like this. So you guys like one thing I like about Gigaopoly is that he made it so that you can tell at a glance, looking at a card's color bar, which ring it belongs in. See, the original ring that you start in, all of those are solid colors. The inner ring have weird, some sort of a pattern to them, like spades, circles, or this one's a checkerboard. The outer thing is all just like a color blend. So it's like orange to yellow, yellow to green, or something like that. Honestly, works great. Even though I've never actually played that. Because like one of the things I actually dislike about Ultimate Monopoly is that the sheer number of color groups is kind of the colors get hard to tell apart sometimes. For mine, I realized that okay, Ultimate Monopoly here only actually has 20 color groups. Yeah. 4 in the center, 8, 8. Mine, if you look for the entire ring 4, I'm going to have 12. Then you add ring 4B, that's another 4 color groups. So that's 16. 8 more for rings 3 and 2. And then another 4 for ring 2B. And then 4 more for ring 1. Yeah. That's a lot. A lot. So it's like rings 1 through 3, all of that put together is 24 color groups. And then you have ring 4 and 4B for 16 more. So that's a grand total of 40 color groups. Yeah, 40 color groups when the original Monopoly has exactly 40 total spaces on the board. Okay, arguably 41 if you count just visiting and jail as 2 separate spaces, but whatever. Minor inconvenient trivia. Okay, so I want to come up with some way to make each of them color groups something different. Also, there's the fact that I'm not actually planning on building property deeds for this. Because, like, that's a stupid number of title deeds. Wait, what was my number again? Grand total of 152 properties in color groups. Then you have 29 railroads and taxis, 13 utilities. 42 plus 152, 194. Okay, 194 things that you have as things that you can own that are part of the board. 194. Yeah. The original Monopoly only has 28. Oh well, it's fun stuff. Anyways, so for this, I am going to make a checkerboard pattern. Now, what I need to do is I need to figure out, let's see here. How tall is this inside area here, and how wide? Okay, that's 34 by 96. Okay, Control C. Let's try a 17 by 17 object. I'm betting this isn't going to line up right when I get to the last one. Oh well, I don't actually care. Hmm. You know what? I just thought of a plan B. Okay, that Control X. Now I'm going to just delete all of this stuff. See, the thing here is that this version, while at first glance it looks like a square, it's actually 1 pixel less vertically than it is horizontally. Oh, wow, that fit perfectly. Oh, was not expecting it to be that perfect. Anyway, I can work with that. So, now we have the cell designed for our taxis. Save that. And now we open... All right, so where am I going to put the taxi space? You know what? Just for the lulz, putting it right next to the jail would actually be hilarious to me. So I'll do that. I think that's right. Really, I should have zoomed in before pasting it, but... yeah, it looks good enough. Alright, so that's 1 taxi space put on. Now, my plan here is that taxis are ownable territory, and thus, whichever player buys this will place a token on it to mark ownership. All right, so yeah, okay, that's something I should do. Okay. Why am I carefully positioning this where it's easy to copy paste it? Obviously. Come on now. All right. Oh yeah. Bummer. Whatever. Just realized that I need the arrow to be angled for the other ones. Well, not really. You know what? That's fine. However, this speck of dust needs to go away. Oh, it just occurred to me I pasted at the other one too. I need to kill it. Alright, now I'm going to copy this again so that I don't paste the red arrow. Jeez, I'm just going to make that smaller. Gah. No, never mind, I won't. I will instead paste text on a different size. I don't need to have this be 48 points. I can have it 36. Bonk. It didn't. Oh, oops, screwed that up. So, then rotate 180. No, that didn't work. What I want to do is I want to flip it on this angle. Ugh. Hmm. Okay, that's what I wanted. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's right. Single pixels. I'm editing in single pixel mode. The hell? Okay, that was bizarre. Okay, that looks good. All right, now we fill in. I know, editing a single pixel at a time. How insanely tedious can you get? All right, well, the 4 ghost spaces are preliminarily marked. More text will be needed to add to them. Oh, all right, so this one. No. Yeah, I'm just going to refer to everything as dollars in this. I don't really feel like trying to come up with some fancy game name for the money. I'm ready then. Yeah, this is actually very similar to one of the things that they use in Ultimate Monopoly. It, however, was a smaller deal because the fact that if it was, I think it was either 250 or 300 as the difference in price, which isn't much. It's either that or 350 versus 400. Whatever. And yeah, I am kind of planning for this to be um, more likely to have you run out of money early game. Oh, also the pay to pool thing. Yeah, the whole like free parking thing in Monopoly. This I'm going to have things that explicitly define what gets paid to the pool, what doesn't, which is actually not going to be a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, things like luxury tax, those go to the pool. Anyway, I have not actually decided what I want to name the cab companies. Minor problem, actually, given the number of cab companies that we have here. Yeah, because I want. Dum dum dum. 11. 11 cab companies. Yeah, Ultimate Monopoly doesn't have 11 cab company names to swipe. I actually made a chart of those. Wait, where's the chart? Oh, here it is. This may or may not have actually popped up on the stream. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, you're only seeing the PowerPoint one. You can't see the calculator thingy. Okay, whatever. So, Base Monopoly obviously only has 4 railroads. Doesn't have any actual taxi lights at all. Yeah, I think I may have forgotten to write down the tab or um, taxi names. Tragic. Okay, I can look at that board, I guess. Yeah. This board here, all of them says something something cab company. I've only been shooting for an hour. Yeah, feels later than it. Well, okay, it feels late. I can't really say later than it really is, but it does feel late though. So yeah, these have names. I could borrow those names. Thing is, there's only like 4 names on Ultimate Monopoly. Oh well. I'll pass on naming the taxi things for now. Yeah, like Yellow Cab Company here, price 300. Yeah, looks like they're all the same price, which is what I was expecting because they're kind of a lot like railroads, except they're just not railroads. Oh, this actually has the cab logo as black and yellow. Huh, interesting. What the clip art show? Oh, the clip art's actually from the front. Hmm. You know what? I like that. No! Oh, that's why I'm glad there's an undo button. Okay. Okay, anyway, so text. Traditionally, the text would be sideways. I haven't actually been doing that. I can change it later, but for now, I'm actually just going to put it what is right side up from my current point of view. Okay, 8-point font is too small, and also pale yellow is a bad idea. 20 is too large, I think. Let's try 16. There we go. Okay, so where else am I putting taxis? According to this, I should have 4 taxi spaces in ring 4. Man, Okay, so 12. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of just going to like randomly dump it somewhere. So I'm rolling dice. Odd and 1. Really? 1? I don't like that. You know what? Screw it. Plan B. Yeah. Nope. Nope. So annoying. Amount of precision required to get it exactly the right pixel. Anyway. So for rig 4, I would have 1 cab space on each side of the board. Actually, you know what? No. Curse me, I should have better defined rules on where not to put them. Anyway, there. That looks good. Yeah, it's fine to put one of them here. Putting it right next to the go space is just nah, no, not doing that. Also, putting it right next to a railroad. I understand that Ultimate Monopoly did that. That doesn't mean I like the idea. Man, I am yawning like crazy. All right, next one. Where is this one going? Oh. It's going right here. What? Hmm. Dang it. Getting sleepy. Oh, right. Wait. Oh. Okay, rotate left. Oh, that's 1 pixel off. Nah, whatever. I don't care anymore. Dang it, dozed off. That's not good. Starting to doze off. That's the problem. All right, I'm going to place... oh, 5. But on the second side of the board. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one. Anyway. Well, pick that again. Interesting coincidence. I didn't like it. Ah, dang it. That's off again. Crap. There. Okay, yeah, for the diagonal parts of the board, I'm gonna have to just completely redraw this. But this will work for this part of the board. Alright, I'm going to call it here. Yeah, I'm just too sleepy.